Hello everyone and welcome to Between Plays. Okay, so I'm going to do one on the markets, but I'm getting some requests for NLC, Cloud MD, and ACDC. So we'll do a real quick one here on NLC. Okay, look, NLC, as I had mentioned, it's at an inflection point. So the prices that we're getting in, I mean, it went up, it was diluted, came down, then the markets have been correcting. So of course, naturally, it's in this state of limbo, shock, whatever you want to call it. But if you look at the demand for lithium, whether it's solid state batteries, it doesn't matter. Lithium is it's just gonna be needed in huge quantities. Now, if you look at also who's there, for neolithium, it is cattle. Cattle, largest producer of batteries, whether it's home hubs, doesn't matter what it is. Go look at what cattle produces. I put that in my last video. You can see it's all over in the renewable sectors. It's a massive company. And if you do the research on cattle itself, basically when contemporary Amperex, like when they came out, all right, CATL. The Chinese government basically said to anyone that wanted to do EVs, and it was all going there. They had the monopoly, and they were allowed to have the monopoly. So this is very important because when you have like Volkswagen, you have all these big players. It doesn't matter, even Tesla, everyone's a CATL. So, it's like saying, you take someone that could devour a buffet, like someone that just has an endless pit. All right, you don't want that guy in your buffet. You don't want that guy in your restaurant, right? Or because you're just gonna be like, you see that person come through, you're like, holy, that just, that's there goes your profits, right? So the thing is that CATL is just gonna be feeding off of neolithium. That's what it's like. It's exactly what it's like. So my play in neolithium is still very significant. And I'm looking at, depending, naturally, if it was in 2020 and it was an EV play like with Lithium Americas, I was in Lithium America at 329 or something like that, 349, and it shot up to 21 bucks, and I got out because I saw the way it spiked so hard that it had to come back down. It was too much of a big spike in one shot. I'm hoping that neolithium will go to that same range, 2020. And you know what? But eventually it's just going to go higher. Why? Because they got CATL in there. It's a whole different monster when you look at Lithium America, and you look at because if I remember correctly, they had Gangfeng or Geely Auto in there. I'd have to go and take a quick look. Look, let's just get onto the graph and let's go take a look. All right. Okay, just because I wanted to take a look, we can see, yes, so Lithium America was with Gangfeng, and that was a driving catalyst for me to get on there. But if you look at the size of cattle versus CATL, is just a monster. It's a dinosaur. It's and I mean in its size category. Yeah, it's like unleashing Godzilla in a city. So that's why I think that that's why I believe that neolithium is going to be a big change, a big massive stock. Now, I was talking about inflection point not too long ago, and because you want to be in way before. It was above $3. Naturally, it came back down because it was dilution. People get out, they get scared. Then, of course, there's there's shorting that's massively involved. It doesn't, it's it's just trying to get people out. Why? Because when the big massive investors come in over their winter, which is basically American summer, so United States and Canadian summer, well, naturally their winter in Argentina, well, naturally the Toronto office is going to be making all these calls, and the money is just going to start coming in, I would believe, over the summer. And that's really weird because it would be almost what happened with Lithium America. Now, let's just take a look at Yahoo Finance. So let's just go into Yahoo Finance. So if you go into NLC or NTTHF, of course. So if we go over the, let's just go over the year. So if you go over the year, you're going to see that it went up to 350 at one point. And, okay, let's do that again. So let's go here. So you see with 350 at one point, and then it came back up to 351. And then it went and shot down. There was share dilution, and it shot down. So now naturally a lot of people got in at this because why they saw that they had an opportunity here. But look, with everything that happened in the stock market last week, you can see here between, if we just take the last month alone, this is the area here. It went down to 220 from that 350 range, but look, it's going back up 275. It's doing really, really, really nice for a stock that the company is not, it doesn't have the big mine up. It doesn't have even the permit, which the feasibility study is not finished. The pre-feasibility study is finished, but the feasibility study is not complete. So if you take a look at, well, you know what? I'm actually quite jealous. The weather looks amazing there almost all the time, especially when you're comparing it to Montreal. So I mean, I guess this is their winter, which is, I would love to be in that kind of range. So as you can see in May, you got 11 to 18, your highs and lows here. This is historical monthly average, so I love that. I have that here. So this is where I think you're going to start seeing a lot of change. Like, this is where I think that you're going to see for us the differences are going to come in Lithium. How can I say it? If you look at the timeline of when they wanted their feasibility study to be ending, and they want to get the look, they already hired the engineering company which created Lithium America, which has created some big companies. I'm not worried about, one second. So I'm not worried about Lithium at all. If anything, if anyone's up, I mean, I would average down even more at these prices, depending on what the person's thinking and stuff like that. No matter what is being stated at this moment about the EV market, because when you look at 2020, that was just like the talk. It was just the EV sector, and it was like, oh my god, and everything was exploding in the EV sector. The EV sector is not going away. So it's like how they stopped talking completely about the hard hit sectors, right? So in the 2020, in the beginnings and mid and even near the end, just before the first vaccines on the Americas side started coming out, like in England and anything that has to do with like Europe or America, there was so much talk about the hard hit sectors. And then as soon as the vaccines came out, there was no more talk about it. It just, and the next thing you know, the hard hit sectors flew up, right? They just flew up. It's almost like they won't say stuff that's great for people. You should right now put in, like Motley Fool now released how in the cruise lines, I think it was last week, that these are like hot stocks and stuff like that of 2021. So, but I mean, it's already started going up. It's already like nowhere near the lows of $11, $14 or whatever, $10 or stuff like that, $8. It's like 24, 23, 22, 26 CUK, what I mean? Like 21, 22, 26, 25 for, but that's basically there's not much else. I mean, unless you're looking at the cruise stuff. Now, things are starting to come out now, but you're like, really now? What happened with all those hard hit sector stuff? Where's the MGM stuff? And I think that's exactly what's going to happen with the EV sector. I think that it's just going to die down. We're not going to hear anything about it. People are going to get nervous. I don't have news. We don't have news. Don't have news. And want to get out. I think that's what's going to happen. And then when it gets out, the shorting is bringing down the stock dilution. This is for NLC now, of course. And then all of a sudden, people are going to, like, there's not enough news. People are going to get out. There's not enough videos with the CEOs and stuff like that. And then it's just going to explode. You're going to see the stock really start to shoot up. You're going to be like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then the next day, after, like, everybody that wanted to get in at a better position all got in, and then all of a sudden you'll have an article after 24 hours or something like that that's going to state that, you know, they got the permits for the feasibility studies over, and that's it. You know, if you look, even CATL is making sure that their position of 8.6%, I believe it is, they're increasing it so that way they can stay at their 8.6%. So I'm not saying they're increasing to go to 10 or whatever, but because they were not at that position of owning 8.6%, they're putting in more money and so that they can hold that 8.6 inside there. So naturally, there's a belief in the company. That means that the people that are involved, CATL's got someone on the board and not like boots on the ground. So for me, it's a no-brainer. I honestly see Lithium as, you know, completely bullish. I have money in there. My wife has money in there. She was like, well, she's just started playing. She's not even playing in the stock markets. I mean, she's been, you know, doing it through, you know, investment bankers and stuff like that. And then she's seen how much money that I made in the last year, and she's like, do the same thing for me. And I was like, all right, well, Lithium, CloudMD, and Sky the Health Group. Those are the three I picked for her. And I'll get to the reasons why those were the three that I picked for her. It all depends on the person's style of aggressiveness. You know, you have to look at how a person is. Are they moderate investor, aggressive? Are they very conservative? And so these, for me, for her, fits right into how she would make her stock picks. So, and that also gives you a good indication on what I believe for these companies, because I would never tell my wife to get into these companies if I didn't believe in what they were offering. All right, so that's it for Lithium. It's just a quick recap, just going over it real fast. But like I said, I'm going to be coming out with more and more and more videos, and of course it's going to be like edited, and they're going to have like articles and all this kind of stuff up. It's just a catch up. I'm still extremely bullish on Lithium, and nothing has changed on Lithium. It's just stock dilution. You saw the correction of the sectors. It's just being hit. It's just being hit so hard. For sure they're shorting in it. There's almost no more talk on it. So people are getting scared. They're getting out. And I'm sure that, you know, you guys, some of you are pretty like going, you know, the ones that are not 100%, you are just going, oh man, I'm a little bit nervous about this stock. I am not nervous about the stock at all. 30 years, I mean, with the government for tax incentives. I mean, the government's giving them, I don't remember how many hectares of land. I mean, just go look at the last ones. It's insane. Why? And then CATL is putting them, making sure that they're still at the 8.6% of what. Everything to me indicates that it's just gonna explode this year. I completely believe it. I wouldn't be surprised if the stock went up even to $20 as soon as the hole is dug, permits, feasibility study, influx of money comes in, and that's it. So completely bullish, guys, on that. And coming up with CloudMD and others. Always remember, research, prepare, plan, execute, and stay strong, everybody. Stay strong. Hello to everyone out there. Just taking 2 seconds of your time and asking you to hit the subscribe and the like button. I'd like to also direct you to betweenplays.com, www.betweenplays.com, where we put up many different articles. We have 3 different writers at the moment, and we're trying to up the authors. And go to our Twitter account for like really quick information at Betweenplays1, and we'll be able to get people to, you know, pre-market information and whatever comes along that, you know, is important to macroeconomics, microeconomics. As we say here, our motto: research, prepare, plan, execute. Always do your due diligence, and stay strong, everybody. Stay strong.